Well, the Ministry of Health says the case for adding fluoride to our water is simple. It prevents tooth decay, it's affordable and there's no health risks. However, opponents of fluoridation, it's a hard word to say, argue it's not that effective and it's unsafe for us and our environment. Well, Dr. Paul Connett, co-author of the case against fluoride, has just started a nationwide speaking tour and he joins us now. We were just having a wee chat in the break about what is so bad about fluoride. As I said in the intro, a lot of people say there's nothing wrong with it. So what's your
Well, first of all, those people who say there's nothing wrong with it will not come out in public and debate me, and I hope in the next 3 weeks they'll pluck up the courage to do so. They can contact us through fannewzealand.org. Yes, fluoride is a very toxic substance. There is no known chemical reaction in the body that needs fluoride. There's many that are harmed by fluoride. And even the proponents of fluoridation now admit that if it works at all, it works topically. So if you want fluoride, then brush it on your teeth and spit it out. This way you avoid exposing all the tissues to a known toxic substance, including the developing brain of the baby. We now have 36 studies which shows an association between fairly modest exposure to fluoride and lowering of IQ. Well, this is crazy. If you brush it on your teeth, spit it out, minimize the exposure, and you don't force it on people that don't want it.
So you're not opposed to fluoride as such in terms of being topical, it's just the digestion of it, is that correct?
Absolutely. Do not swallow it. Do not swallow it. Do not give it to babies. But if you want fluoride, brush it on your teeth. I must say I haven't used fluoridated toothpaste for 16 years because I don't want any more fluoride near my body. But I'd much prefer a strategy where you use fluoridated toothpaste than putting it in the drinking water, which doesn't make sense. There are other toothpastes that we can use, and I would particularly, I'm attracted to xylitol, which is a natural sugar which doesn't allow the bacteria to stick to the teeth, and that's another way of fighting tooth decay. It's been used in Scandinavia and Japan for over 30 years.
I guess the cost here is quite a big issue because with tooth decay obviously can cause problems with your teeth throughout your entire life. So what would you say for people, I guess, the low cost option? How do we deal with this if we don't use fluoride? Well,
of course, it's a low-cost option because they're putting industrial-grade hazardous waste into the drinking water. They're taking this straight from the phosphate fertilizer industry. If they were to use pharmaceutical grade, they couldn't afford to do it. If they prevailed, just imagine that they were able to persuade you that swallowing fluoride reduced tooth decay. There is a more rational way to do it. You would make up litre bottles of fluoridated water. This would allow you to use pharmaceutical-grade fluoride, like in toothpaste. You would be able to control the dose because you can tell people how much, just drink 1 bottle of this a day. And you're not forcing it on people that don't want it, and you're not forcing parents, which is the particularly worrying, to use fluoridated tap water to make up baby formula. The baby should not get fluoride. In fact, a number of organizations are saying a baby should get no fluoride before 6 months. But this warning is not going to parents.
So what are you most concerned about here? Is it the fact that it's a negative impact for health, or is it the fact that people are being forced to take something against their will or they don't have a choice?
Well, I think it's a lousy medical practice. Once you put fluoride in the water, you can't control the dose, you can't control who gets it, and you're forcing it on people that don't want it. So it's a bad medical practice. It violates the individual's right to informed consent. Any doctor that supports fluoridation should be ashamed of themselves. That's a real basic thing. And that's been true for 68 years. But more recently, we're now getting the evidence that it causes harm. It makes the bones more brittle. It causes symptoms like arthritis for lifetime exposure. But the most worrying thing, I think, is the impact on the developing brain. And I do not understand how the Minister of Health in New Zealand can ignore 36 studies, most of them from China, which shows a lowering of IQ in children with fairly modest exposure to fluoride. There's one study, the threshold was 1.9. Well, you fluoridate here in New Zealand at about 0.85 parts per million. No margin of safety there. Another study, a lowering of IQ between 0.3 and 3 parts per million. Again, no margin of safety. Now, what's more important, protecting your teeth or protecting your brains?
Well, Dr. Paul Connett, you seem like you certainly have the research behind you there. Good luck for your 3-week tour.
And I hope we can get a debate.
Thank you.